ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, any questions, clarifications? I thought that Atha Shabda was very simple, very easy, straightforward. Okay. All right. So Athato we have seen. Now Brahma Jignyasa. Look, the other two words are there.
Swamiji, I just wanted to ask this page 57.
57. We are doing 57. We have to do 57. Yeah. We have not done 57.
Yeah.
So he says, Brahmanaha Jignyasa, Brahma Jignyasa. Okay. Therefore, Brahman becomes the object. This Sashti, but used in the sense of Karmani. Second. Okay. Brahma cha vakshyamana lakshanam janmadhyasya yataha iti. What is Brahman? That's going to be said later in the next sutra as janmadhyasya yataha. Okay. Ateva na Brahma shabdasya jatyadi arthantaram shankitavyam. Because the word Brahma or Brahman can have many meanings. Okay? Ataha Brahman ayati. Brahman is coming. It talks about an individual, a Brahmana. Brahma Swayambhu. Talking about Brahman as a Veda. Okay? Or Brahmaji the creator. So, which is the meaning you are going to take for Brahman? This is Vakshamana. What is going to be said later in the second sutra as Janmadhyasti Yataha. Tatastha Lakshanam used. Okay? Yasmat Karanat Asya Jagataha Janmasthiti Bhangaha Tad Brahmeti. From which cause this whole creation has come, sustained, resolved. Therefore, it can't indicate Brahmaji also because he is only creator, not destroyer. Therefore, Vakshamana Lakshanam is there. Okay. It cannot be the Veda because Veda is again not Brahma Lakshana. After all this, you don't want to know a jati of a person. We are not bothered. We are not bothered. Okay. So, Brahmanaha.
Why not Veda?
Huh?
Why not Veda?
Why not Veda? Because Veda is not responsible for the creation. What is Brahman defined as in the next sutra? Janmadhyasya. Because of that, the definition of Brahman is given in the next sutra. So keeping in that in mind, we have to interpret this sutra. Let's say that Purva, Para, etc. How it began, how it end, all that thing has to be kept in view. Shadlinga Vichara. So because of that, he says it has to be Brahman as Jagat Karma. Huh? Yeah, that is in terms of understanding, etc. later. Yeah.
So, Swamiji, Brahma Jignyasa is basically an inquiry.
Meaning it?
It's basically an inquiry. Because
Yeah, but that inquiry, how, etc., we still have to come into it.
But because people may not know the word Brahman still. Like when you.
That will come to. That will come to. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. So, here then it says, Jatyadi Arthantaram na Shankitya. Brahmanaha iti karmani sashti na sesha sashti. This is a purely grammatical argument. Sesha sashti, 6 case, is involved in relationships, possessive case. Whereas karmani sashti is for in the sense of the second case, where it is an object. Ramam, like not Ramasya. Therefore, here the Sashti, 6th case, is used in the sense of second case, not in its own case as possessive. Why not? There is an argument on that. Na seshe. Why? जिज्ञासे अपेक्षत्वा जिज्ञासायाः जिज्ञासे अंतर निर्देशयाच. Because he says you are talking Brahmana Jignyasa. What is Jignyasa? Jnatum Ichha. Okay? Jnatum Ichha Jignyasa. Therefore, what is the object of desire? Jnanam. Okay. Object of desire is Jnanam. Kartum Ichha, Chikirsha. Okay. What is the object of desire there? Ichha of desire to do something. Okay. Patum Ichha, to drink. Pitum Ichha, Pivasa. Therefore, the desire to drink. Drink what has to be said. Know what has to be said. What is the object of knowledge has to be mentioned. Jignyasa is desire to know. Ichhayaha karma jnanam. Jnanasya karma. What is the object of knowledge? That has to be said. And if that is said, it has to be, if that has to be indicated, it has to be second case. Object. It has to be second case object. Therefore, this is Jignyasaya Vishya.
Swamiji, otherwise it could be Brahman ki Jignasa.
Brahmane Jignasa, you have to say. And if you are saying that, you will say that. We will come to that argument. There is an argument on that also. Jignyasa antar nirdeshacha. So, by saying, by taking it in second case, you are showing the object of the desire to know. Are you following that? Okay. What does Jignyasa mean? Jignyasa means desire to know. Alright. That means the subject matter of that Ichha, Jnatum Ichha. The subject matter of that Ichha is to know. Know what? That is also is to be mentioned. Therefore, that is Brahman. If there is Brahman, it has to be the object of the desire to know. It has to be the object of knowledge. Object of knowledge is presented in the second case, not in the sixth case. Huh? That way. That way is case. In that sense case. First case, second case, nominative, that way.
Vibhakti.
Huh?
Vibhakti.
Vibhakti, in the sense of Vibhakti. Yeah. So that's why I said it's a grammatical argument here. Okay.
Sorry.
That is why by the time you come to Brahma Sutras, thoda Sanskrit knowledge is good. Okay. Yeah, Karthik, you have a question.
So Swamiji, normally when we define something, normally,
Yeah.
we would define it from a perspective of its swarupa.
Not necessarily, not always.
Oh,
Not always. See, because, okay, the word definition in Sanskrit is called Lakshana, is slightly different from the English definition. Okay. The English definition has to be necessarily descriptive, just to say what the thing is. Whereas Lakshana in Sanskrit is defined as itarebhya sarvebhya vyavartaka. That which is different, to point out something which is different from everything else. Therefore, the function is to point it out as separate from everything else. Since the function is to point it out, it need not necessarily be descriptive. That's why the Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana comes into the picture. Swarupa Lakshana is talking about what the real nature of the thing is. Tatastha Lakshana is indicating it with respect to something else, pointing it out with respect to something else. So that part of it is still valid, because that's the way Lakshana is used. It's not exactly a definition. We translate as definition for want of a better word. We don't have any other word in English.
thank you.
Yeah. Therefore, again remember, The word Jignyasa means Jnatumicha. That means you have a desire. And what is the desire? To know. Object of desire is knowledge. But knowledge is not by itself. Knowledge of what? What is the object of knowledge also has to be specified. Therefore, here it is Brahman. And since it's an object of knowledge, it has to be put in the nominative, in the second case. In the second case. Now he is bringing in an argument. Nanu sesa sashti parigrahe api brahmana jignasa karmatvam na viruddhati. Says even if you take it in the second case, I mean in the sixth case, brahmana jignasa, possessive case, direct meaning. Okay. Jignyasa karmatvam na viruddhati. The object of Jignyasa being Brahman, that will not be contradicted. It will still remain object. Why? Sambandha samanyasya vishesha nishtatva. Because he says, by connection it will be brought in. Okay? Brahmanasya Jignyasa. The problem will be everything connected with Brahman will be brought in. Okay, using 6 case, Brahman's Jignyasa. Now what is connected with Brahman? Either you can say nothing is connected with Brahman, Adhyasatva, or you have to say everything is connected. Then what will happen? Sambandha. Hey, then you have to do Purva Mimamsa also. You have to do Vyakaranam also. You have to do Jyotisham also. So all that you are given up after Pariksha Lokan will come back into the picture. Then marriage etc. also will come in. All that you don't want also will come in. Because what is not connected with Brahman, tell me? Because Brahman is Adhishtanam for everything, everything is connected. Because if we are using Sambandha, then everything is connected. No? So problem ho jayega. Okay. Evam api pratyaksha brahmana karmatvam utsrijya samana dharena paroksham karmatvam kalpete vyartha prasayasa. Therefore, directly is indicating you need an object of jnana. Why are you giving up the direct necessity and bringing something indirectly? Sida sida bolna. What do you want to know? Brahman. Finished. Ho gaya kaam. No. Brahmanasya Jignyasa. Or for the sake of Brahman you are doing Jignyasa. You are not doing sake Brahma Jignyasa for Brahman's sake, for my sake. Brahman doesn't need your Jignyasa. Therefore, it is necessary to put it in the second case only. But the objective is not willing to give up that easily. Nanu na vyartaha Brahma ashrita shesha vichara pratigyanartatvam iti chet. No, because if he put it as Brahmanaha Jignyasa, as sixth case, then what will happen is anything that is necessary for Brahma Jignyasa will also come in. Because certain things are necessary, no? Adhikaritvam. So certain things are necessary. Those things also will come in. So put it in sixth case, by second case. He says, no, that's not acceptable. Why? One argument is everything will come in. Which you don't want also will come in. That's the main argument. What we don't want also will come in. What we have given up will also come in. Number one. Number two, pradhana parigrahe tad apekshitanam api arthakshipratva. This is when you are taking the main thing, whatever small things necessary for that will come in. I want to do inquiry into Brahman, right? For a Sanskrit knowledge necessary, we'll pick it up. for the nyaya necessary, you will pick it up. What is necessary, you will pick it up. Because when you are going for the main thing, what are the sides necessary, you will pick it up. It's like going and ordering a dosa in the restaurant. You don't have to order for chutney and sambar separately. ना साथ में आ जाता है. It comes in. But only what is necessary will come in. Whereas if you put related thing, then everything related to dosa will come in. How many varieties are there? सब खाएगा क्या एक सिटिंग में? In one sitting can you have all of that? Everything connected. Everything connected to the dosa has to come in. Means what? मसाला, मैसूर मसाला, रवा, कितना खाएगा? ये क्या खाएगा? So it has to be. You talk about the main thing. Whatever side necessary for the main thing will come in automatically. So what is necessary will be brought in. But everything connected will not be brought in. No, everything connected will not be brought in. ब्रह्म ही ज्ञानेन आप्तमिष्टत्वात् प्रधान. And what is the main thing here? Jnanena aptamishtatva. What you desire to know by knowledge? Brahman. So that is the main thing. That is pradhanam. Tasmin pradhane jignasa karmanam parigrihite. Yehi jignasita vina brahma jignasa na bhavati tani arthakshatyani eva iti na pratak sutraitvani. Okay. Tasmin pradhane Jignyasa karmanam parikriti. Therefore, if you are taking Brahman as the main thing, which is the object of Jignyasa, as the object of Jignyasa, that is when it is accepted. He says, Yehi Jignyasa vina Brahma Jignyasa na bhavati. That, those things without which Brahma Jignyasa will not happen, those things will automatically come in. Those things will automatically come in. Tani arthakshupyani eva iti na prataksu. Therefore, that is associated with the meaning. Therefore, separately it did not have to be mentioned. थोड़ा संस्कृत भी पढ़ना चाहिए, थोड़ा ये भी करना चाहिए, वो भी करना. Not necessary. You should learn how to listen. Understood? You have to learn how to listen. So whatever is necessary will be brought in. For which he gives an example. यथा राजासौ गच्छति इत्युक्ते सपरिवारस्य गमनम् उक्तं भवति तद्वत्. He is giving an example. Rajasau gacchati. The king is coming here. Okay? King is coming. He is coming as the king, not in disguise. That's also specified. He is not coming in mufti. He is not coming in disguise. He is coming as the king. So if he is coming as the king, what? Consort will be there. Guards will be there. Retinue will be there. His personal assistant will be there. All that is understood. But when the king is coming, it is not necessary that all the mantris should come. Because that's all connected. He is coming as king. Okay. The whole army need not come. Even his bodyguards have to come. The whole army need not come. No? Just the bodyguards. Immediate security. Those only will be right. Therefore, when you say the main thing, the secondary is understood. But everything connected will not be there. Because you are using it in the second case, not in the sixth case. If it is in the sixth case, then everything connected can come. Citizens can also come. Kidhar jayega? It will be worse than the Kumbh Mela. Therefore, Rajasau gacchati ityukte saparivarasya rajyagamam uttam bhavati tadvat. Shruti anugamacha, he says, And this is in harmony with the Shruti. This is important. Why? What is Brahman defined as there? He says in the next sutra, there is Brahma Janmadhyasya Yataha. What is the Shruti for that? Yato yamani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, preti abhisham vishanti iti. Ityadi Shrutiya, tad vijñāsasva, tad brahmeti. Very clear cut Shruti is there. Tad vijñāsasva, tad brahmeti. Inquire into that, that is Brahman. That means what? The sutra is in direct connection with the Shruti. And the Shruti has given definition of Brahman. Second case, what is Brahman is said. It is not brought in what is related to Brahman. If you bring in what is related to Brahman, it goes contrary to the Pramana. If you talk about Brahman in the second case, it is in harmony with the Pramana, the Shruti, because that's exactly what the Shruti has said. Now you know why the definition is also used like that. Tad Vijñāsasva. Because Tad Vijñāsasva is said there in the Taittiriya Shruti. That's why Taittiriya Upanishad becomes a very important Upanishad for Brahma Sutras. Tad Vijñāsasva. Inquire into that Brahman, nature of Brahman. And what is Brahman? Yato imani bhutani jayanti. Therefore, very clear cut. That the Jignyasa here that we are talking about in the Sutra is in keeping with the Shruti Vakya, Athato, that of the Taittiriya. Ananda Mimamsa. Not Ananda Mimamsa, sorry, Bhrigu-Valli. Bhrigu-Valli, what is being said. So, it's very clear because of that, it has to be put in the second case.
Can I ask a question?
Shoot.
So it will be like first there is Jignyasa, you make an inquiry, and then there is Brahma Jignyasa. How? Because one may not necessarily know the word Brahman or really.
Now, one second. Here we are talking about an informed student. We are talking one thing. Understand this. This is a Brahma Sutra is for an adhikari. The Shruti itself is for an adhikari. So we are talking about an informed student who has got, we said this before, already apata jnanam of Brahman is there. General knowledge about Brahman is there. Now we want to know clearly what it is. Therefore the vichara. When will you do an inquiry into anything? When will you do an inquiry into anything? When you want to know details about that thing, you already have some knowledge. If you don't have any knowledge, will you inquire into it? You don't even know. Not bothered. No. So already have to have some apata jnana. Some general knowledge already has to be there. That's why I said, you cannot have a desire to know unless you have some idea. Remember me saying, every object of desire is an object of your knowledge. Therefore, how can you have a desire to know? Unless you already have some general knowledge about it and you want to understand it clearly.
Okay, so that general knowledge, maybe with regard to Ishvara or Atma,
Whatever.
necessarily,
Yeah. Some general knowledge.
That way, that particular.
Some general knowledge has to be there. Some general knowledge. However, Jignyasa can never be there. Yeah. Exactly.
The first one.
Yeah.
First and second.
Yeah.
First is the qualification, and now what to do with the qualification?
Yeah.
That's the second.
Correct. Because you gain all the qualifications. Now what? Yeah.
Now what? After sharpening the
That's why
pencil,
even in the second shabda, atha, second, okay, athato, athato, there your attention is directed to the nitya vastu. No? What is the second shabda? Atha shabda, the second shabda, it is hetuartham. Hetuartham means what? It is giving you a reason, a cause. Yata iha kshiyate tatra amuttara pishriyate. Therefore, all this is kshiyamana. Karmana athava punyena jitam sarvam api kshiyamana. Since everything is subject, I want to know what is nitya vastu. Therefore, that nitya vastu is presented as Brahma. And then means also, Tat Vijnanartham Guruveva Vikachet. That also, the Hetu is already there. So naturally, Jignyasa. It's a directed person.
More viveka.
More Viveka. See, Viveka is there even as a student. May not be enough. May not be enough. If Jignyasa is not there, then you will fall in for every trip that is presented. Because Viveka tells you, all the normal things I am doing has not worked for moksha. I am still feeling finite. Then what will I do? Abnormal things. Different things. Therefore, anyone presents a spiritual gimmick, you will fall for it. Why? Because you know the normal doesn't work, you are ready to try the abnormal. Because you know these things don't work. That's why there is a spiritual supermarket available. It's available, so many things are available. None of them are useless, all of them have limited use. But all of them are centered on doing. Because they are centered on doing, all of them will have a limited use. Either physical action or manasikam karma. But karma all the same. Mental activity, various types of meditation, etc. Therefore, since they are limited, they have very limited use. We are not saying they are useless. If you want that, fine. What are you after? Clarify your search first. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Clarify the search first. What is it that you really want out of life?
So, can I put it this way to what Sonali is saying that, of course, Viveka, Vairagya, all that is important. But at the end of the day, that fundamental issue of your existence has to be dissolved. Because
Yeah.
unless and until you
Exactly.
get into it, can't be. So
Yeah.
that is what ultimately.
That's why I said last time
the
that mokshecha has to be converted to jignyasa. That Atha Shabda helps that conversion. Desire for moksha is good. Of course, it is necessary. See, there are 2-3 stages you will go through. Everyone has moksha, including an animal. But in animal body, what it is? Avoid pain, seek pleasure. Avoid pain, seek pleasure. That much mumukshutvam is there. So human beings also behave in the same thing. Avoid things I don't want, dvesha. Get things that I want, raga. The guy is a nice guy, I like him, but his mother-in-law is an issue. That don't want to. So, it's always like that. So, where is the whole thing going to end? Therefore, mokshutva is there. Then you have to have the discernment of what exactly you want. That this is the fundamental issue with all of us, that I am seeking fullness in life. A sense of fulfillment, fullness in life. That is discerned mumukshutva. Your mumukshutva has been well ascertained, discerned. This is what I want. Not power and wealth and this, that's not all that I can get, not serving. I want to that sense of fulfillment, etc. That is a discerned mumuksha. Again, not enough. That discerned mumukshutvam has to become jignyasa. Jnatum ichha. For that, the only way out is to know myself. Why? Anything gained by karma is finite. Limitless is something to be known. And if it is limitless that I am seeking, it cannot be separate from me. Therefore, what exactly is I? It has to go. Only then Vedanta will work. Only then Vedanta will work. Otherwise, how do you expect Vedanta to work? Jnatum ichha. It has to become Jignyasa.
And that Jnatum ichha all the way till you own it out.
Hmm?
That
one second, warning, let us, वो तो बाद में देखेंगे. Up to here Brahma Jignyasa we are talking about. Okay, so limited to that. So Brahmana Jignyasa. So the main thing is, yeah.
So Swamiji, implicit to a student who knows that, or a seeker who knows that Brahman is Janmadhyasya, does that student also, or the seeker also know that Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam?
If the seeker knows, he is not a seeker, he already knows. He has heard. One second, why is the definition used in the second sutra? To explain what he has to know.
Right.
Yeah. He must have heard about it, but he doesn't know.
Correct.
He has heard, but he doesn't know. Apata jnana, general knowledge is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
See, because my fundamental search is for the limitless.
Yeah.
And by knowing Brahman is limitless,
Yeah.
is what I am looking for primarily. But Brahman is also presented as Janmadhyasya. So
Correct. Because for Sarvatma Bhava that is necessary.
Yes, yes. So I have the Apatata Jnanam that
You can. So the Apata Jnanam may be something very basic or something a bit better.
okay.
It's something like you do a 3-month course in an ashram setup. Or 3 months full time. Lot you learn. But there's still a lot to be learned. No? It's still Apata Jnanam. It's like sitting in my class for 1 year. If you are an Uttamadhikari, you will know. But Uttamadhikari kidhar hai? We all are fine tuning all the time. Uttamadhikari, I won't say it's a hypothetical thing. No. There have been Uttamadhikaris, but in common, this thing very rare to find. Very rare to find. Like, okay, at this level I can share it with you. One guy in our batch exposed a lot of traditional things. So a lot of the traditional thing you already knew. Okay. They are going to the ashram. Someone like me, पूजा कैसे करने का है? पूजा चलो पानी डालो तो ये डालो तो फूल डालो बस हो गया. और that's all I knew. हाँ इनवोक द लॉर्ड, ठीक है. इनवोक भगवान है ही ना, भगवान तो है ही है, क्या इनवोक करने का, ठीक है. That's all I knew. And there were people who knew elaborate, they could do elaborate pujas, they could even do some Vedic karma, etc. उतना भी knowledge था. So many people thought, hey, they are Uttamadhikaris, Baba. Really? They are not Uttamadhikaris, they know something about puja and parts, etc. Uttamadhikari किधर हो गया? They know some traditional things, which is good. Nobody is underplaying that. It's good. Does that make them an Uttamadhikari for Vedanta? No, they know this. Acha, good. There's another guy, other extreme I'm pointing out. I want you to know what Adhikaritva means. He has spent 8 years in New York working. So you expect a person, Pariksha Lokan, has seen the world, this, that, etc. And he was very good academically also. Engineer, this, that, etc. You expect him to be an Uttamadhikari? Not necessarily. In fact, I asked him, hey, 8 years in New York, great exposure. Yeah? Must have been exposed to great plays, political life, this finance. New York is financial center. You have been exposed to all this type of thinking. Wall Street, different type. Yeah. No. I would just go to my work and the Chinmaya Mission study group and back home. That's all. And 8 years waste in New York. It's like saying I sailed a year but I never seen a pub abroad. What Pariksha Lokan is there? No, I'm a good person. Pariksha Lokan is a good person, but Pariksha Lokan is not there. Are you getting the idea? Then after 6 months, another lady joins him. Oh my God, she was horror. And she tells this guy, "You think you are the best student? I am the best student here." I said, "Wow, Baba, इतना बड़ा अहंकार लेके आया, क्या student होने का?" And she turned out to be the biggest problem for Swamiji. During the course, after the course also. Are you getting the idea? So it is not all this that makes you an Uttamadhikari. And that's why I say Uttamadhikari is rare. मिलता नहीं है. That you heard one learning and you are free. Difficult to be that prepared. But various levels of preparedness are there. One thing, if you have to learn from any of the Upanishads that presents, the attitude for a student. Kathopanishad. Nachiketa saying, what did he say about himself? You know? Among many, I am the best. Among many, I am Madhyama. There are others better than me. Nowhere I am the last. Utna kharab nahi hai. Very objective attitude towards himself. Among many, I am the best. Among many, I am Madhyama. There are people better than me. But nowhere am I the last. That's a healthy self-esteem. So that ahankara, etc. is kept under check. The pitfalls are many in spiritual studies. One has to be careful of that. Then, because we were all in Chinmaya Mission that time, Chinmaya Mission had a habit of, you're going to start teaching immediately, you get yourself yellow-fied. From white that you were before, you were yellow. So I said, no, I'm going to study in Rishikesh. I will be in white only. I'll take direct saffron. I don't want the yellow in between. So this guy took it up. He's a nice guy. He's one of the senior most in the group, age-wise. After that, Mahatma ban gaya. Yesterday he was normal. Today morning he took the yellow. So what is magical that from yesterday to today, that you become a Mahatma? Yeah. I mean, I tell this to my, when I used to teach MBA students, I used to tell them the same thing. What is so magical about an exam that before the exam you are a student and after the exam you are an MBA? You already should be good enough and the exam only confirms that. Already you'll be good enough, no? That is only a confirmation.
You are a testified student. Any exam you are a testified student.
So in all this, okay, to be careful. Or someone came and asked one of my students, okay. No, I've been studying with Swamiji for a long time, 1 year. How long have you been studying? He said, no, I've been studying for some time. Just trying to play it down. No, tell me. 10 years. Oh. And another people can come up. Some of my, they are better people than this. They won't say that. We have been studying Swamiji for 30 years. उन लोग नहीं बोलेगा. They know. What they know? That I may turn around and say after 30 years what's the effect? I may say that. I won't, but I may say that. They know I'm capable of saying. So they know, नहीं, थोड़ा humble रहना अच्छा है. Therefore, your adhikaritvam, all this then clarified pursuit, Brahma Jignyasa. Brahma Jignyasa is not a mere seeker. Mumukshu is a seeker. Brahma Jignyasa has an end to it. He knows exactly what he is in for. This is what I want to know. I want to discover that fullness that I am. Nothing short of that will satisfy me. This is what I want. This is what I want. Entirely a different ballgame. Entirely different. That is clarity in terms of pursuit. Okay. Therefore, iti pratyakshameva brahmanah jignasa karmatvam darshayati. Therefore, directly, pratyakshameva, meaning directly, pratyakshena, here not in terms of perception, but directly through the shabda pramanam, directly, brahmanah jignasa karmam darshayanti. That Brahman is the object of jignasa is directly stated because that vijignasa swati. Tacha karmani sashti parigrahe sutrena anugatam bhavati. Anugatam anugatam bhavati. If you say sashti, literally in the sixth case, that will not happen. Tasmat brahmanah iti karmani sashti. Therefore, Brahman has to be in karmani sashti. Sashti used in the sense of karmani. Karmani meaning object. Karmani is not karma, not take that. Karmani in terms of Sanskrit karmani, object. Therefore, Brahma Jignyasa. Then he says, all right. That word Jignyasa has a power on its own. What is that? It says, Jnatum Ichha Jignyasa. Correct? Jignyasa means Jnatum Ichha. And the San Pratyaya is added there to make it Jignyasa. Avagati Paryantam Jnanam San Vachaya Ichhaya Karma Phale Vishuddha Vat Ichhaya. The way, the Jignyasa, that form, is by adding that San Pratyaya. It's a whole grammatical thing. Okay? What does it imply? What does it imply? Jignyasa, what does it imply? Avagati Paryantam. Until you know. When is the Ichha? When you put it as Jignyasa. Okay? Because when you use the word Ichha, it can be a fancy. Hey, did you see the new watch? हाँ देखा था. It'll be nice. That's just an appreciation, it's a fancy. It's the right size for your wrist. You have a big wrist and that's 45 millimeters. You know, it fits your wrist nicely. Oh yeah, correct. Appreciate. Just a fancy. But Jignyasa, because the word sun is used, it means avagati paryantam. Until you know, it is not just curiosity. Because you can be curious about a lot of things. No? Jignyasa is not curiosity, because you can be curious about so many things, including what your neighbor is doing. What's the big deal about that? That's curiosity. Here it is not that. Avagati paryantam. Avagati paryantam jnana sanvachaya ichhayaha karma Phalay Vishitvad Ichhaya. Because it should land up in phalam, meaning the ichha should be fulfilled. It's a passion for you. It's used this about the English word passion. So you're passionate about it. You have to know it. You can't rest without knowing it. You're willing to do whatever it takes to know it. That is ichha, jignyasa. Therefore, jnanenihi pramanena avagatam ishtam. Therefore, if that is your ichha, what is the pramana for knowing Brahman? That will also come into the picture or not? Brahma jnanam kim pramanam? Na pratyakshatvadi. That is already said in the Shastra. We have already seen on that. Okay? My 5 pramanas will not work here. All that we have already seen. Okay? Therefore, jnanam pramana anavagatam ishtam. Pramanena avagatam ishtam. By the Shabda pramana, you want to know Brahman. Okay? Therefore, Brahma avagati hi purushartha. Therefore, the moksha purushartha becomes now what? Brahma avagati hi. Remember, in your mapping of life, dharmartha kama moksha purushartha started with moksha as purushartha. But now that moksha purushartha has become what? Brahma avagati hi purushartha. Because you will not gain moksha unless you are Brahma avagati hi, Brahma jnanam. Therefore, your purushartha now becomes what? Brahma jnanam. This is a committed seeker. When this change has happened in the thinking, that person is a committed seeker. And if he says avagati paryantam, until I know, how long? I don't know. How long? How do I know? Avagati paryantam. As long as it takes, avagati paryantam, avagati purushartha. Nishesha samsara bija avidya anartha anarthan nibrahmana. Because the whole bija for samsara, avidya, and other anarthan, adhyasa, etc., is not there in Brahman. Therefore, it's only when I know Brahman will I be free from my avidya and all the anarthan, karma, etc., etc., etc. All that will be free only when I know aham brahmasmi iti. Short of that, I will not know. Therefore, avadikati paryantam, I am going to do what it takes. So, in other words, moksha, here I come, chalo. But that moksha, here I come, is karma orientation. That has to change into knowledge orientation. Avagati paryantam, jnanam. Tasmad brahma jignasitavyam. Where the tasmad coming in? Because Brahman is free from any limitations, and what you want is to be free from all limitation. Therefore, Brahma Jignyasa. You have to know what is Brahman. It's a very peculiar knowledge. Because what you want to be is what you want to know. Isn't it? When I study physics, I don't want to be reduced to a particle. Time. Not now. When I study biology, I don't want to be reduced to an evolutionary sample. Though in many ways that's what I am, but I don't want to be reduced to that. Here, hey, what I want to know is what? Brahman, which is free from all limitations. What do you want to be? Free from all limitations. And in the vision of the Shastra, you happen to be that. Thank God for that, otherwise you'll never get it. If Brahman was free from all limitations, separate from you, how will you ever become Brahman? You can never become Brahman. You can never transform yourself into Brahman. All transformation is time-bound, space-bound. That means what? As you are, you are free from all limitation. With all my issues, with all my issues, the good, the bad, the ugly, with all of them, I am free from all limitations. Because all these issues belong to the body and mind, which is not me. So I am free. I have to know that. And then why do I need adhikaritam, etc.? Because unfortunately or fortunately, this knowledge happens to happen in your mind. Because the seat of avidya is in your mind. The manifestation of avidya is in your mind. And that is the problem. Therefore, knowledge also has to take place in your mind. So that much of mental preparation has to happen. More than that doesn't have to happen. Like somebody came and asked me, Swamiji, I am gay, can I understand Vedanta? I said, of course you can. As long as that your gay is not part of your fundamental identity, then you want to keep it all your life. This is my orientation. What different is it? The orientation, okay. Some issues, orientation. Can you have Viveka, Vairagya and say Samadhama, all that thing? Then it's not an issue. But shouldn't there be some separate Vedanta for gay people? In California they have. Vedanta they will say, and bracket they will put Q for cures. Pariksha Lokan, I have seen all this. I said, is there a physics for gay people separately? Gay physics is there? No, then why do you need gay? That is a problem. Can you see that? Your identity is becoming a problem for your study. That can be an issue. If that is not there, what is the issue? Most people are straight, some of us are gay. Itna hi, no? So nature, evolution में थोड़ा इधर short circuit हो गया. Pressure part of it is there, reproductive part is not there. That's why I'm saying short circuit. Pressure part is there, reproductive part is not there. In my orientation, that is all, ना? और क्या फर्क हो गया? नहीं. That guy, the straight also has to master his sexual desires. The gay also has to master his sexual desires. Master it so that you're okay with it. It doesn't trouble you. That's all. Nothing more than that. It doesn't trouble you. You will not write like the poet Divi Muksho Ye Muksha. That sexual play is Muksha itself. You're not thinking like that. Then you're okay. You're fine. So the question is only where your identity comes into the picture. So that much fine tuning of the mind will be necessary because knowledge happens in the mind. Otherwise you are fine as you are, you are Brahman as you are, with all your ridiculousness, with all the nonsense that I have in my mind, I am fine Brahman, what difference does it make? So every issue in my mind, should I settle it right? Only what troubles me, only what conditions me. If I can reduce all of that to a preference, no issue. I prefer this to that. I am addicted to coffee. Without coffee, I can't live. Then there can be a problem. I prefer that. Then no issues. So only that much has to be managed. Identity issues has to be managed. That's all. So that much. Otherwise, as you obtain, you are free from all limitations. That's the teaching. As you obtain, you are a fulfilled being. Why don't I feel that? Because I don't know that. What should I do to know? Guru meva vigachet tad vijnana. So how should I go to that? Then some qualifications are mentioned. That's it. Why? Because we are studying something. This has to be. So the thing is very simple and straightforward. Therefore, Brahma Jignyasa. Then how Jignyasa becomes Vichara, we still have to see that. Okay. That in the next class we will see. I covered a little bit more than usual. Think it over. If there are any questions, come back next class. Okay?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question out of
Oh,
curiosity.
okay, what is that?
I just want to ask a question out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Like, it says that, like, you have to find a guru. Is there any truth in what is said that, like, when you are ready, the guru appears? Is there any?
Yeah,
or
it
it's
is.
like just,
There's a statement like that. When you are ready, the Guru appears. It is not that when you are ready, the Guru appears. Guru is always around you. You recognize it. You recognize. Like look at what happened to Arjuna. Krishna, was Guru was always around him, no?
Yes.
Buddy, friend, brother-in-law, all that was there. Comrade in arms. But when he discovered the student in himself, when the student is ready, Guru appears. The same person is a Guru. It happened to me also. Puja Swamiji was friend, philosopher and guide for me. But the moment I discovered what I want to do, study, he became Guru. How big a transformation was that? At one level huge, at another level nothing, because everything else continued as normal. One level it was huge, another level it was fine. He did stop being friend, philosopher and guide. Guru as well. So that's how it is. Okay? We'll see more.